Ladies, let me ask you a question. What happens when the man you're dating is hated by everyone you know? Your girlfriends call him toxic. He's labeled a villain. But you see something they don't. A spark, a potential, a ride-or-die loyalty that's rare in today's world. Today we're talking about a man who redefined what it means to be a villain and turned it into his greatest strength. Spencer Pratt. From being one of Hollywood's most hated reality stars to proving himself as a resilient ride-or-die husband, Spencer's story is packed with lessons about loyalty, grit, and why you should never judge a man solely by his reputation or his bank account. And here's the kicker. After losing everything in the Pacific Palisades fire, in January 2025, Spencer used the very traits that made him hated, delusional optimism, tenacity, and shameless salesmanship to rebuild their life from scratch, turning Heidi Montag into a #1 iTunes pop star. Welcome back to the Trophy Wife's Guide to Life, where we uncover the secrets to finding and keeping high-value men. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button because you won't want to miss the lessons we're diving into today. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll learn why the guy your girlfriends hate might just be your ticket to a resilient ride-or-die relationship. Plus, we'll reveal how Spencer's biggest failure became the foundation for his family's future success. 1. Why Spencer Pratt was so hated. Let's start with the obvious. Spencer Pratt wasn't just disliked, he was despised during his rise to fame on the hills. So, why did everyone hate him? On the hills, Spencer was portrayed as the ultimate schemer, constantly stirring up drama and alienating his wife, Heidi Montag, from her friends and family. He knew how to play the villain role perfectly, and let's be honest, it worked. He was unapologetic. Spencer didn't care about being liked. He leaned into his bad guy persona, which made him a target for criticism. He was overconfident. From his crystal obsession to his over-the-top spending, Spencer's personality was polarizing. He didn't fit the mold of the polished Hollywood husband, and people judged him for it. Heidi's friends hated him. One of the biggest sources of drama on the hills was the tension between Spencer and Heidi's friends, especially Lauren Conrad. He was seen as controlling and toxic, which made him public enemy #1 in their circle. Here's the twist. The very traits that made Spencer so hated, his confidence, tenacity, and willingness to be the bad guy, are what helped him and Heidi survive some of the toughest challenges life threw at them. 2. Why your girlfriends might hate your guy. It's easy to judge a relationship from the outside. Your girlfriends might dislike the guy you're dating for reasons that have little to do with his actual value as a partner. Here's why. Jealousy. Sometimes your friends don't want to admit it, but they're jealous of the attention you're giving someone else. Overprotectiveness. Friends often think they're saving you from a mistake, but they don't see the full picture of your relationship. Fear of losing you. When you get into a serious relationship, your time and energy shift, and some friends feel left behind. Misjudging his personality. Like Spencer, the guy you're dating might have traits that come off as brash or arrogant, but those same traits might be what make him a strong, supportive partner. The lesson? Your friends don't have to love your partner, only you do. 3. Spencer's red flags. Let's be real. Spencer Pratt had plenty of red flags. In the early days of his fame, Spencer and Heidi blew through $10 million. From luxury cars to private jets, they spent like their reality TV money would last forever. Spencer once admitted to spending $1 million a year on crystals and another $3 million on Heidi's pop music career, which didn't take off at the time. Spencer's aggressive personality alienated people, which left Heidi with fewer friends and allies. But here's the thing. Red flags don't always tell the whole story. Spencer's financial mistakes were rooted in his optimism and belief in Heidi's potential, and his brash personality hid a deep loyalty to his family. 4. The Pacific Palisades Fire. In January 2025, tragedy struck when the Pacific Palisades fire destroyed Spencer and Heidi's home. They lost everything, not just their house, but all the possessions they had worked for over 20 years to accumulate. To make matters worse, they were house poor. Spencer admitted that they had put everything into their home and had little left in savings. They were uninsured. Their home insurance had lapsed, leaving them with no safety net. In an emotional interview on Good Morning America, Heidi Montag recounted the overwhelming experience of evacuating and trying to choose irreplaceable items, ultimately grabbing her children's teddy bears. 5. How resilience saved them. The comeback. Spencer's most mocked traits, delusional optimism, tenacity, and shameless salesmanship, became their saving grace. Spencer urged fans to stream and buy Heidi's old music, specifically her 2010 album, Superficial. Once mocked for being a flop, it became a #1 iTunes hit in multiple countries. Spencer's ability to market and promote with enthusiasm created a viral moment that reignited their careers. He turned a decade-old failure into an opportunity to rebuild their finances and re-establish their brand. 6. Spencer's story highlights a critical lesson for aspiring trophy wives. A man's value isn't measured by the money in his bank account. It's in his ability to rebuild when life knocks him down. When the fire destroyed everything Spencer and Heidi had built, he didn't crumble. Instead, he doubled down on his strengths. Grit. Spencer didn't give up when the odds were stacked against them. Tenacity. He worked tirelessly to rebuild their life using every resource available. Unwavering loyalty. Through it all, Spencer remained committed to Heidi and their family, proving that a ride-or-die partner is worth more than a temporary fortune. 7. What aspiring trophy wives can learn from Spencer Pratt. Here are the key takeaways from Spencer and Heidi's journey that every aspiring trophy wife needs to remember. 1. Marry a ride-or-die partner. Spencer is the ultimate ride-or-die. He didn't just support Heidi when life was good. He stood by her through public ridicule, financial ruin, and personal tragedy. 2. Resilience beats riches. Wealth can come and go, but resilience lasts a lifetime. Spencer's ability to bounce back from failure, whether it was blowing through $10 million or losing everything in the fire, is proof that grit matters more than a fat bank account. 3. Don't underestimate the villain. Spencer was labelled as a villain by the public, but in private he's been a fiercely loyal husband and father. Just because someone isn't popular doesn't mean they aren't valuable. 4. Learn from financial mistakes. Yes, Spencer and Heidi made financial mistakes early in their careers, but they've used those lessons to create a stronger foundation for their future. We've spent this video talking about Spencer Pratt's resilience, grit, and loyalty. But let's address a critical question. How can you tell if a villain is actually a high-value man, or if he's just plain toxic? Not all polarizing men are worth your time, and it's essential to distinguish between someone who's misunderstood versus someone who will bring chaos into your life. Here's how to tell the difference. First off, a high-value villain protects you, but he doesn't selfishly control you. Spencer Pratt was often painted as controlling because of how he distanced Heidi Montag from her friends during the Hills. But here's the nuance. While some of his actions may have been immature, they stemmed from his fierce loyalty to Heidi, not from a desire to manipulate her. A toxic partner, on the other hand, will control you to isolate you for their own gain. They'll discourage your independence and diminish your confidence, while a high-value partner will stand by you, even if it's unpopular with others. Secondly, a high-value villain has a plan, not just ego. One of Spencer's most mocked traits was his delusional optimism, like spending $3 million on Heidi's music career, but his actions were rooted in a vision for their future. He believed in Heidi's talent and took risks to build something meaningful for their family. A toxic partner, by contrast, will make reckless decisions without considering how they impact you. They'll act impulsively, driven by ego rather than a shared vision. Thirdly, a high-value villain owns his mistakes. Spencer isn't perfect, and he's the first to admit it. From their financial mistakes to his controversial reputation, he's publicly acknowledged where he went wrong. This willingness to take accountability is a hallmark of a high-value man. Toxic partners, however, will double down on their bad behavior and blame others for their failures. They avoid responsibility, leaving you to pick up the pieces. Fourth, a high-value villain is a builder, not a destroyer. Despite losing millions, Spencer Pratt rebuilt his life and Heidi's career from scratch. He didn't let failure define him. Instead, he turned setbacks into stepping stones. A toxic partner will tear down what you've built together, whether it's your confidence, your career, or your peace of mind. They thrive on chaos rather than creation. Long story short, the key takeaway for aspiring trophy wives is to realize that a polarizing, controversial, broadly hated villain can sometimes be a better partner than a man who plays it safe and fades into the background. Spencer Pratt's story teaches us that the qualities others might criticize, confidence, boldness, and tenacity, can be exactly what you need in a ride-or-die partner. The key is to look beyond the noise and focus on what truly matters: his character, resilience, and how he treats you. So, what do you think? Could you marry a man like Spencer Pratt? Would you value his grit and loyalty over his early mistakes? Or would his villain reputation make you think twice? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let us know if you've ever dated a man all your friends hated. And don't forget to subscribe to the Trophy Wife's Guide to Life. We're here to help you navigate relationships, build your feminine confidence, and find the high-value man of your dreams. Remember, resilience beats riches, and the right man will always have your back, no matter what.